Can you talk some more about what you and I talked about this morning and the impact of the position and the posture of the cellist on the sound that the instrument makes?
So the impact of the position. We went for a walk this morning, and when you stay in a house of a scientist, you hear the question, why? he needs to understand everything, although it's not his profession. So I had to explain how you make sound. And I promised in the morning that I will show him, because it's such an intimate setup, how just the way we sit and approach the instrument, the sound can be different, even for the not professional ear. So when we make sound on the cello, we use two components. It's gravity and movement. So we need to learn how to gravitate weight, not tension, and then we need to learn how to move it. So if I play just a note and I squeeze my lower back inside and I sit like with my sitting bones, I squeeze them in. You know, when you sit on a table and people tell you, behave, you know? So if I play this note like this, and now if I drop my sitting bones, this is extreme, yeah? So now I'm using gravity. But when I want to move gravity, now finally you see me shaking my hand. It's like I call it with my students preconditioned Parkinson. They're not allowed to quote me, but it's really true. When you shake your hand, you basically decorate the sound that you create with the bow. So if the creation of the sound of the same instrument would be through tension, through pushing tension down, even if I decorate it would be like sound from here. But if I drop my weight and I move it, then I decorate, then I can create a really different sound. And that goes to many parts. It starts with breathing. If I learn how to inhale and exhale air, so I learn how to drop my weight. If I lift my elbow, so for instance, if you would eat dinner like this, we never do it, it's not human, but however, many cellists play like this. So you're holding your weight. So if I drop my elbow, and then move it, so there are basic 4 pillars or components. I call them breathing, bouncing, elbows, and movements. We call it BBEM, B-B-E-M. And those 4 are the fundamentals of not just, by the way, not just for cellists. I tell my students who do like double degree and they have a job interview, I try to teach them BBEM. So when they sit in front of somebody, they're able to gravitate, to breathe, and to react to movement. And it makes you just be much more productive as a human being, not just as a cellist. And so this is extremely important for us when we play the cello. And many times people would ask me after a concert, oh, what did you think about that phrase? I was crying when you played it. And I tell them, I thought about BBEM. They think I'm crazy, but then I explain to them, I really thought of finding my gravity. So a lot of times, even tonight, you know, after breaking 2 strings, it's something that never happened to me in my life. And I was questioning if this is even what's wrong with the strings, the weather, or so when I started it the 3rd time, for a long while, I was just trying to find my gravity and the ability to move it. And once it's there, this comfort zone, you can really be productive and go to your subconscious. Yes?
Does the cello against your body produce a different sound? If you
Absolutely. So the cello, a lot of cellists, they hug the cello, they squeeze it with their legs. So if I squeeze the cello with my legs, I know some students that are so tight. I mean, they don't do it on purpose. They're expressing their emotions, usually with a very bad motion. And this motion of squeezing can ruin the sound and ruin the instrument. So the way I teach or the way I play is following, I call it the human triangle. The human triangle is the end pin, this, on the floor, so that's gravitating towards the floor. The left knee and the heart, the chest. So between those 3, I can use my gravity either going to the floor, which I use usually when I play in high position. So if you're a singer and you reach a high note, da, da, you're actually not reaching it with your eyebrows, you're reaching it with dropping the weight. That's first lesson of voice. Same is in cello. When I go to a high note, I don't do it. I do the opposite. But I need to know where to gravitate. So between the end pin and my chest, I decide where to gravitate. If it's a low note, below what we call the half of the cello, the fourth position, I gravitate towards the chair. So I drop my gravity to the chair. But if I play a high note, I gravitate it towards the end pin. And I always use my movement in a relationship to my left knee. So the cello is completely free. And I turn it, so the strings are not the same height. The best height is the middle string. That's where I don't need to use any kind of unhuman motion. However, if I sit with a straight instrument, when I play the A string, which has most of the melodies, you'll see a lot of cellists doing this. Because I have to approach the A string, and by doing that, you are blocking the most important junction, which is the bone of the shoulder. That's the one that has to move it. It's like a pendulum. If you block the start of a pendulum, you can't move the pendulum. And it's the same. So this pendulum movement is the bone of the shoulder being free within the socket of those muscles. So if I play like this, I'm blocking the shoulder. So what I do with my knee while I play, I turn the cello, I lift the height of the A string, and then the angle of it becomes higher. So I don't need to approach it with, I call the hips the door hinge. So I don't need to turn it too much. And that creates the beautiful sound. So when you ask me if your cello is good, this is all, you have to count on those things. Yes.
And so how many of these discoveries were made by your teacher or by yourself?
Well, mostly by myself. My teachers, the best ones, taught me to think and find logic. But a lot of these theories that I've been teaching now for years came actually from playing basketball, from being an athlete early on in my life. I mean, it's the same mindset when you use your body. So I had few teachers that treated the body as our Stradivarius. Your body is your Strad. But for most of them, it was hard to verbalize it into simple images that will actually make you feel like you're eating dinner, you know, or like you have a door hinge, or and so on. So this came on with me trying to explain it to students, and then seeing the result.
You were talking about keeping your knees open and then sometimes grabbing the cello. Is there
Never grabbing. I never grab the cello. That's not a word we use. I hang on the cello.
Is there a time when it is good to not be open and?
Yeah, so open means only the right knee, if I touch it or not.
Yeah.
But many times when we play on the C string, we play low, I actually turn the cello in the other direction, and it's like a Russian bear. I lean on it with all the gravity that I have. But basically, you know, in many lessons when I teach students and they are in the moment and become like a weird sculpture, I tell them to stop and I simply ask them to hug the cello. Because cello is a very natural instrument. It becomes part of you. When you play piano, you're away, violin, you're away, flute, you're away. Cello, you can embrace it. It can become part of you. But, you know, a lot of people, I mean, I think all of us, when we hate somebody, we hug them, you know, like this. There are many cellists who express their emotions like this, but there are not many humans who hug somebody they love like this. So almost every student I ask to hug, not to play, to hug the cello, it's the perfect posture. They don't squeeze it, they embrace it, then the shoulders are down, the elbows are down, then I tell them to dance with it, you know. I don't see one, it doesn't matter how bad they are as cellists, when they become humans. Now the problem is when emotions kick in, and then they start doing all this. And that's my cello garage job, to try to fix.
Thank you.
Thank you.